Okay, IPI Chi. So I wanted to do a review of this and a disassembly. I was actually kind of saving it. Um, but you guys are free to interact in chat and ask any questions you might have. So the Attack Shark R11 is also the same mouse. Um, I'll do a quick review of it and then we'll get into a disassembly. So the unboxing, you get the mouse, you get the dongle. It looks a lot like the IPI float or Attack Shark R5 dongle. The box is pretty cool. It has this fake carbon fiber on it that I guess you could use as a carrying case. It is rigid, and even like the little corners are metal. All of this is like metal. That's pretty neat. Accessories were a very stiff, thick charging cable and grip tape and extra skates. The grip tape actually has the texturing to it. The glare is bad, but it has like the same texturing as the mouse has. So the Qi, I know it's available in purple and black. The R11, I can actually bring that up. It is available in, let me go over to this camera and go over to, so the R11 is available in, hey hun. Oh, can it wait a little bit? Okay. Sorry, I'm live right now and I'm actually trying to do a one take recording. No, no, you're okay. Yeah. So yeah, the Attack Shark R11 is available in this and in this. These two uh texture ways, let's call it. And that's the first thing I want to talk about with the mouse is actually the texturing. The shape's pretty much potato. The rest of it's like solid for a what, $60-$70 mouse. I would not pay the $110 that Attack Shark is asking. But the texturing is probably the most unique feature. It feels, can you guys hear this in the mic? It sounds like one of those like holographic things that you move around and it changes picture. Um, and because there's two different textures, I think they actually might feel different. So I opted for this one. I think that carbon fiber one actually would feel a little bit different. It's plastic. It's not, I don't think it's actual carbon fiber. Like I said, the shape's very potato. Here, I will grab a GPX for a shape comparison. Oh, look at this. My skate's like coming off my GPX. Okay. That's neat. Um, it's a large mouse. This is a large mouse. It's pretty much GPX size. It's symmetrical. A little bit of contouring here, more towards the front, but the sides still stay fairly vertical. I don't really know what this accent is here with all the holes, but sure. So if you are a person who likes to grip very far forward, this will feel very filling in the hand because the hump really does come quite far back. It's a bit like an ROG Harpy Ace in that way, or like a jumbo duckbill. I know people are talking about the duckbill a lot, where this is kind of like slightly rear hump, but then it extends backwards. The buttons, let's talk about the buttons. M1 and M2 are fine. They're a little bit, in my opinion, I can't quite tell what these are. Let me take off my ear cup and listen. They feel fine for a mechanical, but they have a little bit too much pushback. Like after the actuation, it like feels rather firm. We'll see if there's foam in there. They feel fine. I think they're more tactile. I don't know if they're Omron 100 million. I shouldn't say anything because I'm going to be eating my words soon. Very little side to side play. A little bit. It looks worse than it actually feels. Side buttons are a lot like the R5 or IPI float, where they're actually quite nice. So they're kind of small, but they have this very defined ridge that makes it very easy to find in game. I actually really like these side buttons. There's basically no pre-travel, and a spammable amount of post-travel. So I would say the only downside to these is they are kind of small, but they're quality side buttons. Scroll wheel is like, it's good. It's like 7 out of 10 tactility while still being pretty quiet. The kind of bronze accent on the wheel looks very nice. It matches the text on the mouse too. Middle mouse is on the better side of things. I like it a lot, actually. That's maybe a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 for spammability. I do like this, using this at work where I use scroll a lot. Skates. Skates are actually quite nice. They remind me a little bit of silencer skates, where they have, here, I can actually show, they have like a thick black adhesive to them that's kind of squishy a little bit. This is not like silencer level where it's 3 layers, but they're still quite nice. And the spare skates are the same exact ones. They don't seem to be any different. Slight edge rounding to them, like to see it. And forward, yeah, forward bias sensor, which is also nice to see. Even the buttons down here feel like decent quality. The slider's no nonsense. The DPI button is a little spongy feeling, but the slider does actually feel nice. What else do we like to talk about? General build quality, it's good. I don't think this is a Attack Shark has it listed for what, $109? Dude, no. Duckbill coming at $129? No, no, no. I got this after Rakuten and everything for I think around $50, $60. I think I paid out the door like 75-ish. And for that, it's not a bad buy. It's not a bad buy if you think you're gonna like the shape. I think the really unique things about it are the colorway is just it looks really good in person. It really does. It has almost a holographic effect. And the bronze is subtle yet it's tasteful yet gives some flair. But me personally, I considered selling it. We're gonna mod it and see if I like it more because the clicks are a little bit spongy for me. So why don't we get into the disassembly? And I should be reading chat, see if there's any questions that you guys might have. Looks amazing. Had to order one for myself after the last stream. Yeah. Where did I put my... Here's my screwdriver. Dude, I got so many mice on my desk here. Performance felt fine. I used it in game and I used it at work for only about a day. But yeah, it feels fine. Ooh, these are nice skates. Oh, these are coming up clean. I like that. I only used it at 1K hertz polling. There is a WebDriver. And the skates are quite nice. They're on the quieter end. I'm gonna go move it around on my mouse pad. They're on the quieter side and kind of a smooth, gummy feeling side. A lot of this gray, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this gray PTFE stuff. That's pretty much what it feels like. But if you have any questions about it, feel free to ask away in the chat. I don't really know what IPI's relationship is with Attack Shark, but like same with Mamba Snake. I'm like Mamba Snake and Attack Shark are basically the same brand. So like I technically have a Mamba Snake M5, which is just literally an Attack Shark R5 with slightly different little dragons on the clicks instead of little shark fins. What I just did there is I'm curling back the skate. Because when I lift it up, you can kind of, yeah, you don't want to, I get asked all the time how to remove skates without destroying them. And I feel like it's not, I don't know, I don't think it's rocket science. I think people, I don't know, like remove a sticker without bending this, like without folding the sticker over. It's like that. I don't think it's a particular challenge, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just privileged because I've done this 100 times. Is it actually carbon composite or is it plastic? Nope, it is. I'm pretty sure it's plastic. We're gonna take it apart. It feels rigid. There's no like side flex to speak of. Side buttons, you can sort of push them to the shell. Like you gotta push hard though. These are no complaints. Bottom flex slight bit on the back side here. Front side's good. No, overall build quality is solid. Like $100 mouse level. Maybe, I don't know. There's some really bad $100 mice out there. I won an Asus Harpy Ace 2, which is their like Viper Mini or Viper V3 Pro clone sort of. And the Asus guy followed up with me in Discord today saying, "How are you liking the mouse?" And I wanted to be like, Well, I did say it's a very good mouse, but I want it to be like, yeah, the like 100, what's the MSRP of it? Like $180. It's more expensive than like Logitech and Razer stuff. Just wild. Oh, they are Omron 100Ms. Okay, that's why they feel kind of spongy on the post travel. So there's the internals of the mouse. We can zoom in on that for y'all. We got Omron 100 million mechanicals, TTC gold encoder. That is, I'm trying to look at the height here, 9 millimeters in height. 3950 sensor, and Nordic N52840 MCU. Scroll wheel is on a Huano standard classic micro switch. I like to see that. Come on, camera focus. Yeah, black shell green dot. That's why it's really spammable. They're not using one of those stupid little square switches. And you know what I forgot to get was the weight for you guys. So let's grab these. Oh, we can weigh the skates. I also need to do a Reddit post for this guy. I like to have a disassembly post for things. So we'll weigh the skates first. Take a picture of that. 1.47 grams on the skates. Lazarus Stardust says figured it was 100 M's from the marketing. Yeah, those are really popular. That's like the new meta. Have you guys noticed it seems to be a switch meta every time period? Like, remember the KLGM 8.0 meta? Me personally, I've never been a fan of mechanical Omrons. Like, I don't know, they just feel boring. $52.69 grams. I think I did actually weigh this on my stream earlier. 52.69 grams. Yeah, that's about what it feels. So it feels fine because it's a rather large mouse, but it's also nothing earth-shattering. I know for these screws I like using magnets. I got a little magnetic tray to the side here. Oh, and we're going to have to weigh a few more components, so we'll keep the scale out. Battery is a 500 milliamp hour JST 1.0 connector. Let's go ahead and pop this guy out. Oh, did my camera shut off? No, okay. Oh, it does have a side support here. That's rather nice. Yeah. And is it carbon fiber? No, this just looks injection molded. So, yeah, so something that maybe we're gonna see more of is this like stippling. Like, you guys can hear this, right? That's how the mouse feels. And so it's not like a coating, but it makes the mouse feel somewhat unique, like a very fine sandpaper maybe. And yeah, I actually want to jump over to the where was this teased? Maybe just the Attack Shark website might show it the best. Sure. Yeah, you guys might have to like up your stream quality, but there was one teaser, a picture I tried to find before the stream, and I just couldn't, where they had a close-up of it. But you see kind of the like milligraining to it, like stippling. Yeah. So I do think the carbon fiber weave versus the forged carbon fiber aesthetics are going to feel slightly different. All right. Now, back to the live stream, and I actually think I'm going to get some music going now. Yeah. Hi, dog. So, the battery here. 500 milliamp hour, JST 1.0 connector. Looks like the pinout is black thermistor red, so I'll be adding this to my spreadsheet at some point. We got a nice adhesive on it down here. 3.7 volt. So no crazy fast charging voltage. The battery just flew out. 8.28 grams. Yeah, I was going to say this doesn't feel like a very hefty battery. It seems rather compact. Okay. Man, my camera app updated, and now there's like a delay. After I hit the button, there's like a delay before the shutter goes, and it's so frustrating because you like press the button and then you want to put your phone away, but you do that and it'll just be a blurry mess. So we'll get the PCB weight next. What shape is this mouse closest to? It's very potato. I would say it's a combination of a Harpy Ace and a GPX, I guess. Here, if you guys want to see how I'm making that comparison. So here's a Harpy Ace. So the Harpy Ace, it's similar to the Harpy Ace in that it has small side buttons. It's the Harpy Ace and the Chi. The hump is like, it kind of peaks just slightly behind the middle, and then it extends backwards pretty far. It doesn't drop off. It kind of rounds off subtly. The Chi is that same way. So that means if you grip far forward in particular, it's going to feel very filling in the hand. The other way that it's kind of like the Harpy Ace, why don't I show you guys the bottom, is there's slight side curvature, slight hourglass curvature to it. The Harpy Ace kind of comes up pretty high here. It's not quite in the middle, and the Chi comes up a little bit higher. And then I was comparing it to a GPX just in terms of size. Here you guys go. The side by side, let me line up the bottoms. Yeah, they're pretty much the same dimensionally. The Chi feels slightly more narrow because the sides do taper in slightly, whereas the GPX feels there's side tapering on the GPX, but really not much. And the Harpy Ace, let's do a size comparison to the Harpy Ace. Harpy Ace is slightly longer. Yeah, Harpy Ace is a big mouse. It's a long mouse. Something weird though is their scroll wheel is like so far back on the Harpy Ace, which makes me want to like grip it further back, almost like fingertip it. I don't know. The Harpy Ace, it's a weird mouse. I have mine green here because it's dyed. Their mice uses a nylon shell, and nylon can take synthetic fabric dyes, but the buttons are not dyed because they are PBT, and PBT plastic cannot take dyes, which is funny. So that was a good question. Would you say the shape is closest to HTS Plus? No, absolutely not. HTS Plus is a mid-hump, small, like medium-sized mouse. Nope, absolutely not. If you want an HTS Plus, Filena S450, Cyrox V6, there are tons of good options. Just make a r/mouse review post about it, or you guys can join our Discord and ask questions there. Pretty good space to talk about peripherals. It's not as salty as like Borzy's Discord can get a little salty. So, and Daz and I are, yeah, link in the description. Daz and I are in there, and we're very active. Oh, whoops, I took a picture with the button. Let's try that again. So it looks like there are solder points for Omron opticals. I'm going to solder in Omron opticals, but I'm going to do it simply to the normally open pin. I'm not going to actually use the transmitter and receiver. Man, the delay to this phone's shutter is very frustrating. Man, I feel like such a boomer, but like, when something works, just don't change it. There we go, that's a pretty good shot. Okay. Yeah, the scroll wheel's nice, look at that. Last time I did a spin test on stream, I like yeeted the scroll wheel off the table and I had to go find it. And why don't we take a look here at, grab a photo of the bases here too. The battery mounting tray it's nice to see a big old flat battery mounting tray. I'll probably do a swap in it with a 150 milliamp hour battery. I gotta do like 4 clicks now to get to change the aspect ratio. It's very frustrating on my camera. Oh, the delay. Maybe I should just get do you guys have any recommendations for Android camera apps? Because Samsung in this most recent update just ruined theirs. So, okay, so some of the sponginess is coming from the clicks. So you see how the clicks want to stay elevated. I personally don't like that. You know what? This does feel like a softer plastic. Can I scratch this easily? Like, is this... This feels like a softer plastic. I don't know if they went with some sort of carbon fiber composite or if this is just like a nylon. It feels, gummy, maybe? I don't know, that's kind of an extreme exaggeration, but yeah. So why don't we move, I'll take a picture of the little support bracket here. The support bracket, yeah, it has a top support also, which is nice to see. Grab a photo of that. Grab a photo of this with the support out of it. What would be the weight with 150 milliamp hour, you think? Well, the stock battery is 8.3 grams. There you go. It's going to be a 5 gram reduction. So stock battery, 8.25. 150 milliamp hour. It's going to be 3.3. So, 3 grams. Okay, yeah, so you're going to have like, you got to add a little bit of weight for the adhesive. 5 gram reduction, so it'll be like 47, 48 grams. Nothing earth-shattering, but it's competitive. It's crazy. The Harpy Ace Extreme, the like $250 carbon fiber Asus Harpy Ace edition, is like 46 grams. It's actually not all that lightweight. Though apparently the carbon fiber, you gotta remember, carbon fiber will feel very, very rigid, which is cool. But yeah. The problem with like true carbon fiber, it's the actual manufacturing process of making the carbon fiber mold. It's, you guys can look up, it's not easy, it's not cheap, it's very labor intensive. I don't know too much about automation surrounding it, but like what Final Mouse did, where they used like a chopped carbon fiber injection molding polymer, that is the most cost-effective way for mass production for sure. But I think there's a lot of science that goes in, R&D that goes into that. So I think that's pretty much it for the disassembly. You guys feel free to keep asking questions if you have them. No idea if that includes the clicks or not. It's claimed that carbon fiber composite on Attack Shark's website. Yeah, if it just feels kind of, it feels like a nylon. It feels like a, you know, nylons tend to be, it's kind of like a softer plastic. I'm not seeing, there's a little bit of shimmer to it. Like even on the inside here. I don't know if that's just like the painting process from this. Well, anyway, why don't we start with the modding now? So I'll do a quick little fulcrum bend to make the clicks feel less spongy. So fulcrum bending is something I talk about often. We just take out one of the buttons and we just give it a little bit of preload. So this is the fulcrum that I talk about right here. Right? Because when you're clicking on a button, you're bending it. Yeah, this feels weird. This has got to be a nylon. It feels rubbery almost. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still plastic, you know. It's not actually rubber, but it just feels like ABS. I feel like I can bend it and it'll keep its shape. This kind of wants to come back, so this is actually kind of frustrating. They did a good job with like the build though. I mean, you see here they have let me zoom in here. They have foam on the bottom of the clicks so that on your upstroke you're not having a hollow sound. They use these pins here inside of slots, so what that helps with is side to side wobble. Yeah. And how does that feel? That might make it a little bit too light. I might have bent that too much. It's really hard to predict with this plastic. It just feels rubbery. There we go. That's good. Okay. So see how my buttons are now? See how this one is kind of floppy? I can press it down or I can press it up. Whereas this one springs back. So this is giving additional, that means I got to overcome this when I go to click. Whereas this is going to be more true to just feeling this micro switch itself. I kind of explained it correctly, but something about a different transmitter for the signal which isn't as it advertised. What was the dongle fiasco? So that was on Livestream. This is a question from Kenny D. You can watch it on Mousecast, or you can watch it on my other live stream on this channel. The ATK duckbill is advertised with the Nordic 54H20 MCU, which is supposed to give much better battery life. The mouse has it. However, the dongle is also supposed to have the matching MCU, and that's in order to take advantage of, this was Piezo Gal, he's the Tech Power Up reviewer has a very good technical understanding of mice. And he said there's this new Nordic 54 series has like a higher bandwidth or something, which allows for lower power consumption, but you need to have the MCU in both the dongle and the receiver and in the mouse. By having it only in the mouse and not in here, that means you're probably not going to see those battery life benefits from better wireless efficiency. But if there's any silicon efficiency gains from the 54 series, like actually low power consumption coming, just to run the chip in the mouse, then maybe there's small gains there. But point is, it's kind of like, it's just like slightly false advertising. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, like imagine buying a sports car that's advertised with 500 horsepower, and then they're like, oh yeah, but the 0 to 60 is still 10 seconds. It's like, okay, it has the goods under the hood, but it can't actually use it. It's kind of useless. It's not like a huge deal. The Mousecast discussion was more about just how brands are getting worse at always trying to have the bigger number on the spec sheet, even if it doesn't really mean much. Interesting. The USB-C port had like a plastic cap to it. That's interesting. I gotta remember to put that back on. Alright, well, why don't we solder in some Omron opticals? So I'm gonna bin a couple Omron opticals. And this will not be a long stream today. I'm just going to do the Omron opticals and swap the battery because I got some places to be today. I got a hard stop at like 1:30. It's 1:07 right now. So here I am. I'm just going to line up a bunch of switches and bin them. The regular viewers of the live stream know that I do this. It's just a little binning process, we'll call it, which is I just go in here. I'm going to take off one of my ear cups and just see which switches I like. So far the first two are, oh, these are all nice. These are all nice. Okay. Yeah, okay. Mouse, left mouse, right mouse. Done. I want an MCHO's A7 Re so bad, but I'm scared to buy it off of AliExpress. Yeah, AliExpress, it is a mixed bag. It's not as straightforward as just, buying it from Amazon and sometime later it shows up without issue. I have had issues, but rest assured, for me, issues have only been like 10% of my orders. It can be worse. If you go for choice sellers, which their choice sellers are like, I don't know, I think AliExpress does some vetting and it's like fulfilled by AliExpress. It's kind of like buying something fulfilled by Amazon versus not. Like buying something Prime versus not. Prime has, that kind of guarantee that like if it's messed up, you're definitely getting your money back. I don't know. Amazon's pretty strict though. They don't allow I was gonna say they don't allow crap on their website. They definitely try a bit more to not have crap on their website compared to. Oh, interesting. I just melted that pin off. Huh. I have never done that before. Okay, well, scrap one Omron 100M. Yeah, not that I care. I don't really like these switches. You guys see that there? I just pulled the middle pin out. Yeah, I don't know. Omron 100Ms. Do you guys like them in chat? Are they just a fad? They're a good spammable switch, but it's interesting how they have a lot of post-travel. And again, post-travel is not inherently bad. You always want some post-travel for reboundability, for spammability of a mouse button. but it has this like very negative connotation around it. Can carbon composites be differing rigidity? Oh, I'm sure. I mean, dude, the term composite, that's like saying, do all cakes taste the same? Absolutely not. Like, I mean, a cake is going to taste, you know, regardless of the kind of cake, a cake is going to taste different than an ice cream, but, I mean, there are. So, I mean, the term composite's just a very vague umbrella term. It just means it's a combination of different polymers, right? Man, I want to grip this switch to pull it out, because this one's soldered in, this is soldered in 3 places, which is interesting. Right mouse is only soldered in 2, left mouse is soldered in 3. That's interesting, I've never seen that before. I can sort of grip it at the head here. We'll try that. I'm also not totally opposed to just cutting these switches out. The thing is, solder suckers, I don't want to sit here on stream, like, using my solder sucker for 10 minutes straight. But if you guys want my thoughts on the R11, like, in terms of shape, build quality, yada yada, go back to the beginning of this live stream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separately upload this. Well, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to... On YouTube, right, this is going to appear under the live tab on my channel. But if I edit the video using YouTube's little editor, it will then be moved to my main videos tab. So I'll just trim like all of this part out. So you guys are getting exclusive content that's going to be deleted. How do you feel about that? Nah, if you like these mouse modding live streams, I do these from time to time. I've started doing them more because I do so much like modding anyway. Let's see, I might have... Oh, switch still feels fine. Yeah, these Armon 100Ms, these feel very sensitive. Is my temperature up high? Oh, my temperature's high. Yeah, I need new soldering tips. I think these ones have oxidized like too much or something. Yeah, maybe even on the inside, I don't know. They aren't conducting heat as well as they used to. Viku P says peace sign. Hey, what's up, Viku? Veku. You know what's funny is, speaking of like gaming names, that's been like a common thing we've started doing with all guests on Mousecast, is asking them where their name comes from. It started out with, was it, yeah, our very first interview, which was Elo Shapes. And his name is like Ole Christian. And Ole Christian, it's spelled like O-L-E Christian. Because is he... Oh my gosh, I forget. Is he Swedish? Because he works for, is it the Swedish government? Yeah. And then like Pizogel, we asked him because like none of us knew how to pronounce it. Isn't that funny? But it seems like everyone that we've asked, there's been like a small story behind it. Like some of it might be as, I don't want to say boring, as straightforward as like Elo Shapes' was his name. But then other ones have had kind of stories behind them too. Like I know mine had one. Because I feel like when you pick a gaming name, like it's usually kind of a point in time of your life. You usually, like, you're often pretty young too. Because, you know, you're like getting into gaming and you have to pick a, it's like picking your first email address. Maybe not that bad. You know, like cute kitties 249. And then you regret it for the rest of your life. Okay. Kenny D, it's for the most part a real carbon fiber mouse. It's a nice turn-on video on Billy titled. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know much about. To me, this just looks like plastic. when I think of carbon fiber, like it's actually made in sheets. But it's squishy. I don't know, carbon fiber is like really rigid. I've used carbon fiber for, like at my job and stuff. And carbon fiber is super rigid. Alright, well, why don't we just clean up some of these contacts here before we get to soldering? Yeah, the PCB is not bad. PCB is dated June 25th, 2025 this year. And it has the Nordic MCU on the label too, which makes me think maybe they're going to offer this with like a different MCU in the future. I don't know. ATK just announced the A9 Ultra, or Ultimate, sorry. So the A9 is their GPX clone. And they just announced they're going to be updating it with the 54 series MCU. Like, that's it. Which I think is kind of interesting. I don't know, you can tell that products are getting really mature when we get V2s that are pretty much just not really fundamentally different. So here I am trying to take apart the I-mount optical switch to remove the transmitter and receiver. I feel like I talk about this every time I do it. That's because I get so many questions. Maybe someday I'll do a standalone video. But all I do is I just pry the switch open slightly. I'll zoom way in. Okay, does this one still feel good? Beautiful. That one's left mouse. So all I do is I just... These pins are the transmitter and receiver. Just pry it open a little bit. This one's the receiver. This one's the transmitter. And then close it back up. That way I don't have to fully open it. And then we need to solder little icicles, as I like to call it, onto them. The icicles just help with getting it through the through hole on the PCB. There we go. One little icicle done. You really don't need much. And this is right mouse. Both these switches felt pretty fine, but I'm just going to try to keep them as right mouse and left mouse segregated so I can have the click feel that I want. My left mouse felt a little bit lighter, which is typically what I like on left mouse. Right mouse I like a little bit heavier, that way I don't fat finger ADS in games too much. And let's go ahead and do right mouse first. Beautiful. And I'm just going to keep some pressure on it, that way that we know the switch is in fact sitting nice and flush on the PCB. We put, let's zoom out here because I'm going to totally mess up my camera work and you guys won't see what I'm doing. Yeah, you guys might see me in my side camera. Oh, what? Why did that pop up? There we go. My side camera, sometimes I go up on my tippy toes here and I'm checking the... That's what I'm doing when I do this. I'm checking the framing of the top-down webcam. Alright, one switch in. Now for left mouse. A little bit of fresh solder on that. Boom. I solder in like a very unconventional way. It's just that I avoid using my solder sucker to actually remove the switches. And I don't know, I just kind of do it a cowboy way because it's faster. Well, there's the PCB. I did not put that switch on straight. That's funny. That's fine. I find it doesn't really affect the click feel at all. There's the toasted 100 million. Get rid of that. And why don't we put Humpty back together again? Oh, battery pin out. Is it the same as my stock battery? Sure is. Take a look at that. Negative thermistor positive, negative thermistor positive. Look at that. So let's Let's start putting thing Humpty back together again, as I like to say. These guys go here. These guys go here. My little switch storage compartment, AliExpress, by the way. Ah, never mind, links don't work. Oh, yeah, is that something I gotta enable in chat? I don't know. I also don't want to get spam bots, though. Did you guys watch the most recent Mousecast episode? It seems to be, viewership seems to be very good on it. I don't know, Melon was absolutely fantastic. The past several Mousecasts have just gone over so well. I've been very happy with them. So spoiler for the people watching stream, I have made contact with Tevolution Joel from Tevolution. So Tevolution, right, they have the Terra, which is the like Logitech G703. Maybe clone isn't the right word. Inspired shape that a lot of people love. I don't have one. Daz has one. I'm not personally, have never been a big fan of the G703 shape, but I know there is a big following behind it. Anyway, I was DMing Joel. I simply said, yo, would you like to come on Mousecast? And he said, thank you so much for reaching out. I would love that. So isn't that cool? Am I using the right screws? These don't seem to be threading in very nice. Oh, and I forgot my little... Dude, this is so weird. Look at it. Look at this thing. This goes on the USB receptacle like that. I wonder why they chose to do that. You know, each time they add another part like that, it is additional cost. It's additional assembly costs. It's additional... it's just an additional step. So seeing things like that are usually signs of quality, but we'll see. I've never seen it before on a mouse, nor did I think it's like a important... I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna try... Yeah, sometimes I go no screwdriver and I just use the bit for like a little bit better feel. Because threading into plastic, particularly this like nylon type stuff, whatever it is, again, it feels gummy. So I feel like I'm cross-threading it. These were the screws. Okay. I'm sad I missed out on the Melon stream. Oh, yeah, well, the VOD's up. Yeah, if you guys don't know, you can always, on my channel, the Mousecast playlist. It's all the episodes. That's right, on my channel, there we go. That one threaded in nicely. On my channel, I don't even have, like, just a list of my videos. It's literally just the Mousecast podcast, because I have all these other, like, live streams that clutter things up. But yeah, I know it's like really late at night. Daz and I might do something about the really late streams. Well, it's late at night for us. We start at like 10:45 p.m. Eastern. So like I didn't go to bed that day till like 2:30 a.m. and I like work the next day. Yeah. Okay, double checking the pinout. Black. Oh, do I have all the buttons? Okay, good. It's the worst when you forget like the DPI button. You have to put that back in. Okay. And the battery size, so we're doing a 5-gram reduction here, nothing too crazy, but this is a Nordic MCU and PixArt sensor, so it's going to be 3950, so it's going to be pretty efficient. So what I like to do here is I plug her in, and I'm going to turn her on and just make sure I get lights. Yep, I got a little light here. Oh, did I drop the diffuser? There seems to be, the like light isn't shining through the hole very well. Was there a diffuser that came out? Do I care? Is the thing. Yeah, sometimes there'll be like a little... I don't know, sometimes there isn't. It's uncommon, but sometimes there isn't. Alright, well, anyway. Why don't we just go back to reassembling? So do I want to do anything? Okay, click feel on left mouse is going to feel rather nice. Now, right mouse, do I want it to stay spongy? I don't think so. I will do the same mod to it. Sometimes I like keeping right mouse intentionally quite a bit firmer. Again, to avoid accidental clicks. But this is a little bit much. You could always screw it backwards until it pops in the thread. Yep, I know. I have taken apart a lot of things in my life. Not just mice. But I don't know exactly what you're talking about. There was a pretty good description of it. Just a little bit of bending. Oh, you know what I'm also gonna do? I'm gonna lube up the little plunger here. This does not have switch. I'm sorry, I bumped the phone. This does not have switch grinding, but this is something you can sometimes do that will help. Because it's not so much switch grinding, it's really just this little plunger that, yeah. Yeah, look at how, like, flexible this is. Sorry, I got to try to keep that in frame for you guys. So just a little bit of silicone grease. If you do this, so I'm using a silicone grease. I know some people use like Krytox or whatever for keyboards. I don't know. Is Krytox anything special? I don't think it is. But you don't want to use a petroleum-based grease. You do not want to use like a Vaseline or other petroleum-based greases. You want to use like a synthetic silicone grease, because petroleum greases can degrade plastics. So I have off camera here. I can show you guys. That's way too much grease, but that's okay. I'm not worried about this like getting into the switches or anything. This is what I use. Here, let me grab the tub here. It's nothing fancy. It's literally from an auto parts store, I think. PTFE, okay, it has PTFE in it, I guess, too. This was like $10 for this huge tub, and yeah, I mean, I'm not... barely made a dent. But that silicone does get everywhere. That grease sure does. Luckily, it's a, you know, it's a whitish transparent grease, so it's not like, doesn't stain things. 126, yep, I've got to wrap this up and get going. Back together. That feels nice. That feels very nice. I like it a lot. Again, I want my clicks to be like floppy. That's ideal, because then you're feeling exactly the switch. Sometimes you can put some pre-tensioning on them so that they like always stay in contact with the micro switch dot. And it can also make your clicks feel lighter. I had a guy trying to commission me to swap, like bin and swap switches in for him, and I was just like, dude, just do fulcrum bending. Like, he wasn't after any sort of particular click feel. He literally just wanted super duper light switches, like 40 gram force switches if he could. And it's like, you can just cheat and do that for free without soldering. You just disassemble, fulcrum bend, reassemble. The tape I'm using is 3M VHB, very high bonding strength tape. There's stuff from AliExpress that I've used too that's like a knockoff of it. Here you go, here's the AliExpress knockoff. They're all good. For mounting batteries, they're all totally fine. I've never had an issue with it coming unmounted. It still is like good practice, you know, manufacturers usually have like a little hold down bracket or a hold down piece. You know, they'll have a pillar like this. That is... yeah, if you're like a manufacturer, that makes sense. But it's just a modder here. I might have had like one mouse where the like tape has lost strength, but I don't know. I haven't been using, I still opt for the VHB tape over the AliExpress stuff just because the VHB tape is like, it's a thicker foam, so it contours to uneven surfaces a little bit better. This one is super smooth. I could definitely use the 3M stuff here, but yeah, there's a fair bit of weight savings that you could be done to the base here. I think the base is like 9 grams, so you could probably cut out 2 grams there if you kind of go extreme. Battery weight balancing, I'm gonna go like here. So I had like a slight weight forward bias, but look at how the PCB is so far forward. Yep. So here we go. Now the side button bracket goes in. Very nice. It is toolless. Or, yeah, toolless. There's no screws or anything. This is very nice. And there's like 2 pins. Yeah, the mouse is good. The mouse is good. Definitely good. Again, not a... I don't really think that like any mouse is like $110 good, except for like maybe a Viper V3 Pro. But here we are with really expensive mice. Sorry, I keep bumping the phone with my headset. There we go. Okay. Now before I clip her back together, bend those wires down. Let's just make sure. Oh yeah, she's still on. Okay. Okay, green LED. I'm gonna walk over. Sorry, you guys are gonna hear a window sound here. This is This is me. That was me. Let's just make sure things actually work. Yep. Play, pause. Right mouse works. Forward, back. Yep. Forward and back works. Cool. Okay. Windows sound incoming. This is me. That was my Windows. Okay. Well, there we go, guys. Mouse is reassembled. Let's put the screws back in it, huh? Click feel. Much better. Very nice. Happy with that. I could have even gone a little bit lighter if I'm being honest. Need my magnet. Yeah, I need more magnets. I need to get more bar magnets. I like those like really powerful neodymium magnets from AliExpress are really nice for all sorts of little projects. Yeah. What do you think about magnesium and their use in mice? I actually worked at a high pressure die casting startup for a little bit that was primarily aluminum, but also a fair bit of magnesium to customers. I was on the equipment supplier side, so it's not like I was doing any of the die casting, but magnesium casting is a very cool process. Magnesium is a very impressive metal. It's like, it's only like, what's the density of magnesium? Like aluminum's like 1.7, right? Or maybe whatever. Magnesium is impressive stuff. I remember we helped do parts for like the C8 Corvette. A lot of those parts are magnesium on the body because it's a lot lighter than aluminum. But in terms of mice, so magnesium, it's nice in that it is very rigid, so you like won't have side flex and stuff, but the whole trends with holes, I'm not a fan of. Not a fan of the holes. From AliExpress this past week, I ordered a B-Stex Max with solid sides, and I'm literally just gonna sell my version with, yeah, I should have given this more attention actually. The buttons they're just a little bit spongy. I think that's just from the polymer choice that they've done. The Omron opticals do definitely feel way better than the Omron mechanicals, but that's personal preference. It also looks like the base here, if you wanted to, you could sand this down. Like there's a slight border here for the skates. You could cut that off with X-Acto knife, with a hobby knife, or sand it down, and you could have a nice flat base here. So let's put the skates on, weigh it one last time, and then end the stream there. So what do you guys think the final weight's gonna be? I think we already know. What was that switch mod even? Yeah, that was Omron Opticals, but soldering it to the normally open contact. So using it as a mechanical switch. I just really like the feel. Skates are nice on this. Yeah, skates are good quality skates. They're not quite aftermarket. Well, I guess maybe like a cheaper aftermarket. They're a good skate. They're like, for a stock skate, they're like a 7-8 out of 10 skate. Okay, what's our predictions for weight? I'm gonna say 47.31. Does it feel lighter? Yeah, it does. 47.31 is my guess. 47.55. Perhaps I should have taken a picture of the battery on the inside. Oh well. Okay. Well, there you guys go. I think that'll do it for the stream. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm gonna hopefully edit this video. I hope it carries over the comments. IPI Chi Is it a good mouse? Yes. Is it worth the like $100 asking price that a Tech Shark has it for? No. Is it like a decent buy at like 60, 70 bucks? I would say so, if you think the shape is for you. It is a large mouse with a pretty filling hump, and overall like good solid quality all around, no major complaints. Join the the Astros Discord, link in the description. And with that, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a lovely rest of your day.